to our debate on surrogacy. We're asking the question in the context of Nayanthara and Vignesh's surrogate children, twins, whether India's surrogacy laws are way too restrictive. Dr. Aruna Kalra is a gynecologist. I beg your pardon, I need a glass of water. She joins us on the broadcast. Sunieta Ojha is an advocate at the Supreme Court. She's joining us as well. Dr. Kalra, I'm coming to you first. Help me understand, as someone who's probably seen many parents go through the process that Nayanthara and Vignesh have, are India's surrogacy laws way too restrictive? For example, the mandate that a couple has to be married at least for 5 years. For example, that surrogacy laws in India rule out single parents or same-sex couples. For example, the surrogate mother necessarily has to have a child of her own, has to be married, etc., etc. These are way too many conditions. Do you buy the argument, the logic that probably India's surrogacy laws need to loosen up a bit?
So, hello everyone. I can only speak clinically. Then when a couple, once we see them, they are seeking pregnancy, they are seeking baby, and when we see them frustrated that they are not able to conceive even after a year of marriage, unprotected intercourse, we start doing investigations and see whether there is some problem with the couple, either husband or wife. But practically speaking, for a year, if before that time they come to us for any kind of investigation, we tell them to please try for 1 year, and it would take at least 12 months, because fecundity your the possibility of pregnancy every month is only 20 to 25%. So we don't go and do any kind of investigation or any kind of fertility tablets we don't give till they have at least spent 1 year of their married life together. So one is that, and many other questions you asked about that, whether single mother or same sex. These are all legal issues. Okay, so I can understand that when they come to us and they want a child, we need to help them. But there are legal issues and everything, like other acts also about abortion and all those.
So, Doctor, can I just
are there?
Doctor,
and they are
just give me a minute here.
People are.
I am quoting from the recently released census report of 2016. Dr. Kalra, I'm quoting from the recently released census report from 2016 on the fertility status of Indians, which is indicating a declining fertility amongst Indian women, with an alarming decline of 31% recorded for the period 1991 to 2016. It is being called the unborn pandemic. Help me understand, of all the patients you see, how many actually don't have an option but to go for surrogate kids?
So percentage-wise, it's difficult, but I would tell you that why it is decreasing fertility, is it decreasing in our younger girls, is because first thing is they are planning pregnancy later in life. And they, like most of them, are really busy in life. They're not having a healthy lifestyle, whether it's diet or whether it's substance abuse, or whether they are starting pregnancy after the age of 35, and by that time they have many other clinical issues like endometriosis, fibroid uterus, high blood pressure, diabetes, PCOD, and that is why fertility is decreasing year by year. Most fertile period is around 21 to 20 to 25 years, or before 30 years. But nowadays we are not seeing parents coming during this bracket of their age. And that is why I think, and they don't, they do not have, most important, they don't even have time to have sex. Like they have sex very frugally, I would say, once in a month or once in after 3 months. So these are all the factors why fertility is decreasing.
Okay. So the unborn pandemic that scientists are talking about in India is a reality. Sunieta Ojha, you're an advocate at the Supreme Supreme Court. In a situation like this, in a scenario like this, given the scrutiny that Nayanthara and Vignesh are under right now, where you have the Tamil Nadu health minister saying the two will need to be questioned as to whether they have tried to circumvent the surrogacy law in India, help me understand if they have. What is the problem? Where do you place Nayanthara and Vignesh's case in the spectrum of the surrogacy laws and its very restrictive clauses?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me over the show. Before we talk about Nayanthara's case, which is the present day, let's also look at what has been the scenario in this country. Now, before this act in December 2021, before this act, ART Act, came into existence, and the time between when Durga was born in 1978, like the second child born through assisted reproductive technology, there has been virtually no regulation regulating the process, regulating the children being produced, their lives, the surrogate mother, their legal rights, and all that. There was some sort of a guidelines, but primarily this area, and during this period, the entire business. In fact, in one of the judgments, Supreme Court took note of the fact that how this entire industry has grown huge. Now, so therefore, first of all, this act, the purpose of the act was to regulate this entire area and it actually starts with the clinics, the doctors who are practicing it. So there has to be a board, state board, central board. There has to be a certification of the couples who are intending couples who want to go for a surrogacy. So those are the board will look into the the criterias, whether they are fit to, whether they qualify under those provisions or not. So therefore, in fact, we don't know whether in this case, Nayanthara's case, they have gone through a clinic which is duly certified under the Act, which has all the approvals under the Act, whether they went to the board, they have taken the approvals, so the entire brief is not before me. So I would let it be there and reserve my comments unless the complete information is available as far as the entire procedure and the approvals, etc., that has been taken both by the clinic which has done it, the certification by the mother, the intending surrogate mother, the intending the parents, all that is required to be investigated. So that part is, because let's not forget, although there was some sort of a clause for 10 months when the act came into existence last year.
They have been married for months. In this case, they have been married 4 months. And the law requires you to be married for 5 months before you can go in for surrogate. So which is where the Tamil Nadu health minister's questioning is coming. Let me ask you this.
Law requires...
as an advocate, I understand, ma'am. Also, can I just quickly then ask you that as a practicing lawyer, when you look at the surrogacy law, does it come across as way too restrictive for you? For example, in Vignesh's and Nayanthara's case, they have been married only 4 months. The law requires 5 years. Why 5 years? 5 years is a very long time. Secondly, single people are left out, right? Same-sex couples are left out. Who can be a surrogate mother? There are restrictions on that as well. The woman has to be married, she has to have a child of her own, etc., etc. Isn't this way too much restriction? Does this law need to ease up a bit? I understand the concerns, and you can help our viewers understand the concerns. But is it that a law needs to change with time, with changing times?
Okay.
Infertility is an epidemic in this country.
Okay. Just to put your anxiety at rest, I think the law has already been challenged before Delhi High Court. The provision with respect to men, a petition was filed in the High Court, Delhi High Court. The court has issued notice, and I think the government has also, I think it's Karan Balraj versus Union of India case is there, which is also, there is also a woman who is a party to the case, who is a married woman, having a child and she wants a sibling for her child. So that is there. And a single man who has also challenged the rule, saying it is discriminatory. So therefore, that provision has already been challenged. Now, having said that, I want to say a couple of things. One is, when this particular law, we have laws which deal only with technologies. We have laws which deal with certain social problems. Here, it's a very intricate interplay of social, ethical issues, moral issues, legal issues, scientific technology. So all that is coming together on one platform. So the law had a huge challenge. Unfortunately, while they were trying to regulate the technological aspect of it in order to provide stop what is called commercial surrogacy, number one, and to protect the children who are born, because couple of the cases which were highlighted, which came up in media, and also society had to face those challenges, were the children who are born out of it. Passport, what happens to the passport? Who gives the passport? Whether the child, what is the right of the child who is born out of this if the parents abandon? So one of the good things that has happened in this law is that's a deeming provision. A child who is born out of surrogacy is deemed to be a biological child, has all the rights. So that is from the child's perspective, the law has tried to address that. Another thing what the law has tried to address that is the protect the surrogate woman, in the sense that, her health, her well-being, her consent, that has also been incorporated in the law in a very, very firm way. Now, the third, which I feel is also one of the things where the clinics, etc., need to really wake up and put themselves and go through the rigors and find out whether what they are doing is legally compliant or not, because this is, mind you, this is not one law which is toothless. It has sharp tooths. It has provisions for imprisonment. It has provision for penalty, and in fact, in case of repeated violation, the imprisonment can go as high as up to 10 years. So therefore, that particular teeth is also there, where through the law they try to control the morality. That is where I feel that it went overboard, and it actually went much beyond what was the legal mandate. Because if you see the object of the law, it starts with saying regulating the assisted reproduction technology. But in the terms of regulating the technology, what they started doing was regulating the morality of the society, regulating the age issues, regulating the marital status. One understands that you don't allow foreign. So you have to be an Indian couple, which is fine, because we did not want the trafficking, etc., to increase through surrogacy. Indian couple, married couple. That has a bit of an issue. That is how the single men have made a challenge this law.
And same-sex couple.
You have to be certified in the sense that
couple,
what are your medical conditions? Yeah, same-sex couple.
Correct.
In fact, so therefore, and the other thing is, if I already have one child and I want to have another child, I want to give a child another, but I cannot have it for some reason through my own body, or because of my, whether it is a career needs or my social, psychological needs, I don't know. Mental health is a big issue. Mental health is a big issue. Should not that be taken into? So therefore, what I feel is where, to the extent it tried to regulate the technology, it was on the track. The moment it went into becoming the moral guardian and police for the society and speak for a certain sections, that's when the law went overboard. And I am quite certain, and I quite believe that, these issues, once they are taken up, because no law can actually be sustained if they hit the golden triangle, which has been laid down by the Supreme Court. Article right to life, right to your liberty, all those, they become important. So
the law has already been challenged in the Delhi High Court, and one is hoping that the courts will take a liberal view of the law, because a law needs to change with time. It's one thing to regulate technology, you're telling us. It's another thing to try and regulate our morality with the law. Thank you very much. We'll leave it there. This has been an enlightening conversation. Sunieta Ojha, thank you very much. Dr. Aruna Kalra, thank you very much for joining us.